Paul. Yes. I'm having some difficulty understanding the allegation of mental illness and mental disease. Yes. I've had multiple mental health evaluations. Approach. And for some reason, the court seems to believe that the mental health evaluation is the end all be all of exactly somebody's psychological profile. Yes. Now, as many times as I've emailed the sheriff's department and the police department what the actual laws of the state of Washington say, yes, they don't believe them. Pooh. They don't believe that you have to give the respondent 5 judicial days prior to having a court hearing, and there has to be proof of service that happened. That you can have 2 required personal services before the court can issue an order where you can send a mailing or put it in publication, one or the other. Yeah. But this thought of my wife, because I did read the first protection order, yeah, and this thought that everybody has a chip in them and the whole world's going to the lizard in the asses, and cloning's real and all this other bullshit that everybody knows it means that somebody's crazy. There's no such thing as dogs. I mean, the sheriff doesn't have a dog. Yeah, I'm kind of thinking I'm sane and you're crazy. Now, how do I prove that in a court of law? How do I prove that after 1,900,000 emails, right, 10,000 videos that had just recently been removed from my YouTube channel? Yes. How do I prove that you're the fucking craziest county in the United States of America? Well, there's this textbook called Criminal Law. Yes, I had uploaded it and was reading it last night. And they have what's known as the Due Process Clause. Now, the interesting thing is it's figure 3.3. Yes, maybe the chief of police's dog would want to read that, or Deputy Dogfish. Yes. But this Due Process Clause, Amendment number 5, applies to federal government. Yes. Amendment number 14 applies to state government. Do you see the difference between Amendment 5 and Amendment 14? Yes. See, when you issue a protection order without any due process to the respondent, it violates the federal statutes known as the VAWA. Yes. It violates the PKPA, these federal laws that the United States government passes. Without any proof of service before having court hearings in 2011, you violated Amendment 5. So let's separate both Amendment 5 and Amendment 14, and the Amendment number 5 goes to the federal government. Yes. And the Amendment number 14 applies to the state government known as Washington State and every state of the United States. Now, it says here, no person shall be deprived of life, liberty, or property without due process of law. For every time that the petitioner went into the court and said, well, he's crazy. He thinks everybody has a lizard in their ass. They're all in the come to find out family, and they all have dogfish lookalikes. This deprivation of my life, liberty, and property without me actually being in court, yes. I'm absolutely sure that the citizen rights in the Amendment number 5 requires you to allow me to appear in court and to be heard. Now, if you were just to read the explanation that was written in 2011, yes, where the petitioner said the guy's absolutely bonkers. Pooch, he's a nutcase. Hup, hup. He's one of these that has a tropical blood disease. Yes. He's schizophrenic, bipolar, delusional. Pow! And for some reason, the Amendment number 5, as it applies to the federal government feels that they have no compulsion at all to make sure that every citizen of the United States, before issuing any court orders that would deprive them of life, liberty, or property, would be given the actual notice of the actual place and time of a court hearing. Yes. And they would be given the opportunity to be heard before a fair and impartial judiciary. Oh! Now, that VAWA that you say you're not violating, You are. The petitioner didn't acknowledge the order, and when I had read what my public defender had told to Phyllis, yes, she was given a chance to sign it. You know this concept of the petitioner being crazy? Yes. Well, as in, well, I petitioned the court, but I decided I'm not going to appear in court. I'll give my whole life, my liberty, and my property to the court to decide, and I don't have to acknowledge any of their orders because they're going to continue to arrest.